watching that have been with Andrew for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and there's a lot of folks watching that have never seen this show before. That is the world's finest multivitamin. That's not just my opinion. If you compare it, there is no comparison. We have still a dozen products to get to. I know we only have 45 minutes left. Just a reminder to tune in at 10:50 Eastern Time, so about 35 minutes from now, where our final product of the show, the wonderful team with Andrew, have agreed to show off my pick of the year, and I'm so excited to tell you about it. So that's at the end of the show. But Andrew, you mentioned some of the foundational products, the big hitters, as it were. So we're gonna go from Essential 1 to, of course, Maximum Omega-3.
And because what I try to do, and we'll talk about CoQ10 in a second, if someone's only going to take one capsule that I make, Essential 1 is really the best idea, but for a lot of folks who really target energy, CoQ10, which we'll talk about in a moment, that could be an alternative.
Right.
If they were only going to swallow one capsule, I'd say I'd opt for Essential 1, but CoQ10 is also not a bad idea, and if you could take both, even better. But the reason why we went to a Maximum Essential Omega-3 next is just like a vitamin and a mineral and a carotenoid, your body can't make these fatty acids. And these fatty acids are defining of the structure of your brain. So just as calcium is critical to your bones, omega-3, specifically DHA, which is the omega-3 we target, most companies do not, they target EPA, but what we target in our omega-3, that's more important to your brain in terms of structure than calcium is to your bones, than protein is to your muscles. That's something, and then if we go even further, that DHA, that omega-3, it's even more important to the retina of your eye. So omega-3 is something that work right hand in hand with our vitamins and minerals. They're an essential nutrient, just like those vitamins and minerals, Essential 1. So answering those dozens of questions that came in talking about where do I start and where do I go, Essential 1 is really the best place to start, and then followed by, say, our Maximum Essential Omega-3 to get the omega-3 fats that are just like the vitamin in that your body can't make them.
I wanted to, and I forgot to mention it to you yesterday, Andrew, when I saw you, but it's amazing to me that certainly this time of year, you'll go into the store or even the big box store and you are surrounded by vitamins. And I think for most of us, you know, we like to be in many cases skeptical, but in also many cases very trusting. And it's hurtful in some ways that many of us are buying a product that might not be delivering what we need in the correct form for maximum benefits. And I think it's such important information that you have always shared.
Well, I mean, I hate to sound harsh, but when you say might not be delivering what we want, unfortunately, the substantial majority of omega-3 products on the market, it's not a might not. They are definitely not delivering what you want.
Right.
First of all, the experience isn't going to be great. The capsules are enormous, yet they don't contain a lot. The capsules also contain typically a synthetic form of omega-3, not a natural form. The natural form is the triglyceride form. The synthetic, cheaper form is the ethyl ester. So, and again, those forms, they typically contain, by, I'd say, 98, 99%, focus on EPA rather than DHA. A lot of them don't even declare the levels, but they focus on EPA rather than DHA, and DHA is the most important omega-3 for the brain, for the eye, for the heart, and I would say that's why most of us are taking omega-3s for the brain, the eye, the heart. So if you're taking omega-3 for those reasons, you want to get both. You want to get the EPA and the DHA, but the DHA is the target molecule. So again, it's sort of unfair to compare us to our competition, but unfortunately the competition really doesn't go about following the science as religiously as they should, and I do.
Well, we've kind of briefly given an overview that CoQ10 was coming up and the importance of this product.